Happy Friday. Whew. Hope everyone's having a great morning and a great trading session so far. I need to load the footprint charts. Try to load a template on that has everything I need in it. Data lag. So I'm gonna have to reload everything again. Literally, as soon as I took them off of my charts, everything was fine. So hopefully we have a decent day today. My second Tradify account did renew last night, like 9 o'clock at night or something. I'm not gonna trade it today. I'm just gonna wait till Monday to start trading it. Good morning, Applejacks. How are you this morning? All right, there's one chart, and now we gotta do the second one. One more freezing of the charts, and then I should be good to go. You cool? You got any plans this weekend? Damn, I was supposed to make this initial balance indicator not so yellow. That's right, I'll do it. I'll do it later. All right, stats, point of control, summary table, volume profile. I don't know why I have to do this every time, but you know, whatever. It has total delta, volume, total volume, our stats, point of control. I don't really need the summary table. There, I think I'm good. All right, so we are pushing new lows. Still have somewhat of a data lag as well. La, 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 la. But I think we're good. Maybe. Whoa, that's loud. Don't like that. All right. I think we're good to go now. Celebrate his friends. Mr. Freedom, you guys have a birthday Sunday. Nice, nice. I hope you have fun. I think I will be doing back to school duties. My niece wants her hair done now. So surprising because she is the I don't want to get my hair done. I just want to put my hair in a ponytail. So I don't know. I guess she now sees how much like her little brother's hair has grown, and his hair is so long because I've been taking care of. I've been braiding it consistently now for a little minute. So yeah, she wants to participate. Would you look at that? 3, 5. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, I didn't color those. Great. Freaking great. Do my girl, I'm gonna be so tired after doing both of their hair. It's gonna be ridiculous. I gotta do braids in both of them. Good morning, Amelia. How are you this morning? Yes, I'm trying to be better, girl. It helps me to get out of bed quicker too. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta get on the stream. I can't snooze 17 million times no more. Help me. Help you. Help me. You missed a day this week. I didn't yell at you for that. I did miss a day this week. I did. You're right, ma'am. I did. Good morning, New. How are you this morning? I did. I needed it too. I ain't gonna lie. Ain't gonna lie to you. All right, we do have 9 o'clock high impact news. Yeah, 9 o'clock. So I'll be on the lookout for that. Hopefully I can get at least one trade in before then. We'll see. Apple Jacks, I needed it. And the crazy thing, I was doing so well with like my sleep patterns, and then it just all got screwed up again this week. Trash. So much trash. Just terrible. I'm really gonna try not to take any trades at the new highs and lows, or any trades going back towards the new highs and lows for now, because yeah, I'm just not gonna do. Starting next week, I will, but right now, I'm torn between it having the normal rules that it just has, or um, the new highs and lows being treated like having the same rules as opposite levels. So having the same rules as me buying at resistance and selling at support, because when you really think about it, if the seller, like let's say there's no level here and we're just pushing new lows and I'm trying to take a buy, technically the sellers are in control because we're pushing new lows. So I feel like the order flow and volume combination should be pretty similar to what it looks like if I actually I actually had a resistance level that I was buying at. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process, but I just did not have enough time last night to process it properly. So I just won't trade it today. Good morning, Cloth. How are you this morning? Why did it get screwed up again? Because my body just, I don't care. I have been getting on here almost every morning for almost 2 years, and my body does not care. It does not care that this is the new schedule. My body is on its own time, and I've just been a night owl my whole life. Like yesterday, for instance, um, how much, I don't even know how much sleep I had yesterday going into yesterday's session, but around probably 2:30, I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna lay down for a second. I'm not gonna take a nap. Shit, I was asleep for about 2 hours. Now, mind you, I woke up at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. I was up until like almost 6 o'clock this morning. For whatever reason, my insomnia is so bad. And any little nap, like I could take a 30-minute nap, it's going to give me 12 hours of energy. It's so stupid. So stupid. But that's what my body likes to do. And it ain't my fault. Can you share the names of all the indicators? I can. It's early for you, so I'm awake at 5 a.m. So I don't need to be up. I can't do it. Amelia, I can't. Girl, waking up and it's still dark outside. Why am I up? The world ain't even up. The sun ain't even up yet. The sun is not awake. Why am I? Simo, so let's see. There's an initial balance indicator on here. That is why that's the chart is so yellow. I actually want to remove that. That's a free one that I found. I would have to give you the link for it. I have native indicators, current day, open, high, low, order flow VWAP. I have a lifetime license, so I have order flow products. Prior open, high, low, close. I have the volume up down indicator, which is down there. That's native as well. As far as third-party indicators, I have a pivot indicator, which are where you see like the yellow dots, the blue lines and dots and stuff. So that's a pivot indicator that comes from Ninza, N-I-N-Z-A. It's called the Fame Super Pivot. I have an order flow indicator on here. That is the Trade Devils indicator that also gives you the footprint summary at the bottom. Price Action Swing Pro gives the volume of the swings. If you type in NT8 Price Action Swing Pro, it's going to take you to a website, a forum that you can download it from. I've used this for years, and I think that's it. Oh, I have a market structure indicator on as well. That gives the like sell rotation level, which is this. So basically in a downtrend, it's going to throw a rotation level on the last higher low, basically saying that we're not truly in a strong downtrend unless we are trading below that last higher low, and vice versa for an uptrend. I'm pretty sure that's it. So really, I just have a lot of support and resistance on my chart, just different levels of interest primarily. I just lay in bed. It's so annoying. Very much so. Therapist asked me if I was getting enough sleep. I said yes. He asked how much. I said 5 hours. He said, what the fuck? You said that like this normal. Good morning, Janelle. How are you this morning? Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, now if you would have told me 5 hours, I'd have been like, baby, how do you do that? But yeah, it's so weird. So one of my friends, Leo, the one who comes in here sometimes, but under Javier de Sousa, um, he said to me the other day, he said, I'm going to read you exactly what he said. Leo is like my sweetest friend ever. He said, you've been on edge lately. I meant to ask you about it today. Do you notice that you're more irritable lately? Here was the funny part. I was irritable because I got too much sleep. I'm so opposite of what it should be, right? I need to leave for just a second. I forgot they're delivering my water today, so I have to take all the empty water bottles outside because they're stacked up because I was out of town when they delivered it last time, and my mom forgot to put the water bottles out. So give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry guys, I'm back. Sorry. All right. I'm so glad I saw that text because oh my goodness. So I get the big 5-gallon water jugs of Ice Mountain delivered to my house. I get 4 of them delivered every 8 weeks. And yeah, I almost forgot they were even coming today. All right. Just totally forgot that fast. All right, not enough Delta there. Roblox bloody, EFTs on sale. Yeah, the market is super bloody right now. For sure. For sure. Mm. I want to learn that Delta stuff you be doing. Listen, Cloth, I'm still learning it my damn self. um, I have a feeling that very soon I'm gonna be putting out like just a normal content video on like the things that I've learned about order flow and stuff. And legit, I have a pretty good feeling that within like the next week or so, my strategy is going to take a complete 180 and it's going to be pretty set in stone for the most part. Um, and all it really took was me going back and looking at a video of Umar Ashraf and looking at what he keeps in his footprint summary table. I was like, oh, well, that has to be important. He makes a lot of money trading order flow. Those things have to be important. And I just had to take the time to like transcribe it into how it can work with Renko's, but I think it's going to be helpful. So I was saying yesterday that I wanted to convert my data over from leading with Delta to leading with volume because I traded leading with volume for so long and I felt like it really is important because looking at volume, especially when you're using Renko's, looking at volume kind of tells you like the effort. So volume tells you effort, delta tells you intent, right? And so you kind of know, you gotta need to know how much effort is being put into the attempt to push into, I don't want to say resistance, but like the opposition. If I'm taking a sell, I'm pushing into buyers. If I'm taking a buy, I'm pushing into whatever sellers are there. And so I was trying to use only one or the other, but it's not going to work. You kind of need both for the way I'm doing things. So, yeah, I converted everything yesterday and I had to do it by hand. I tried to do it the lazy way. Y'all should have saw me. I was using Photoshop to like use the lasso tool, and like I basically took pictures of my analysis sheet, used the lasso tool to move things to the different categories based on leading with volume. Baby, I just had to redo everything by hand. That wouldn't work. 65. But yeah, eventually I am gonna make a video about it because uh it could be kind of complicated to learn, but I do feel like long term it's gonna be something that is just good to know overall. Why does my chart look like that over there? I don't understand. Hold on. Oh, oh, that would be why. There we go. Anyway, but yeah, so Lance. Knowing the strength of what you're doing helps tremendously. Got my little order flow knowledge from Umar and stop watching. Yeah, I did the same thing. Like I've watched the videos a couple times. Like every time I felt like something's off, like I'm missing something, I would go back and I would pick up on something else. Cause you know, when you start to learn something from the beginning, you know, you're paying attention to different things as you're trying to learn different things, right? And so when I kind of went back later, I was like, oh, how did I miss this? Well, because I was paying attention to something totally different, because I have a different level of understanding. I'm paying attention to, you know, something a little bit more advanced. The entire time I watched any of his videos, I never, ever paid attention to his footprint summary chart. But also remember, I did not have a footprint summary table on my Ninja order flow indicator. So there were certain things that I didn't pay attention to when I was watching his videos because I didn't even have access to that, right? So now that I have access to it, I was like, I feel like there's a reason why a footprint summary table is there. There's a reason why there's so many different options for what to put in the footprint summary table. I just got to figure out why the options are there, what they mean. So I just had a different level of understanding at that point. So I went back and I was like, okay, he has these couple of things. Let me put those in mind. Let me see what they mean. Put it into ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, you know, what does this mean? What does this mean? And yeah, then I kind of narrowed it down to pretty much just delta and delta percentage. The only reason I have the minimum and maximum delta is because I kind of need to see how close we are to whatever the max delta of the bar is, because that's pretty important. Because like certain combinations, I want, if I'm getting into a sale, I want this box to be red. In certain combinations, I actually want it to be pink. So knowing how close or how far we are away from the max delta or the minimum delta is important for me. Good morning, Timbo. How are you this morning? This eye candy. God. You, girl, you and Umar. But yeah, I love his videos because he's very like, he don't sugarcoat shit, you know, and he's just very straight to the point. He explains to you why he's looking for certain things, how he spots absorption, how he spots aggressiveness. I love how he'll be like, you know, I'm the aggressive buyers and seller, the aggressive. But it's important to know depending on what you're looking for. A lot of people are attempting to trade with momentum. That's what they're looking for. When they get into trades, they want to see it go to their take profit as quickly as possible. And sometimes they're not understanding why the market is not pushing in that way. And typically it's because they're trying to trade as naked as possible, which I understand. I've always said, like, everybody has their just. Some people believe that indicators are just, there's no point for them. You know, all indicators are lagging and all these other things, which is not true. There are some that are not lagging. Obviously, order flow does not lag, right? Volume does not lag. But there are people who genuinely believe that there is nothing that an indicator can tell you about what the market is doing. And for that, I mean, hey, that's just what they believe, right? But there are other people who make indicators work for them. Y'all see the data lag is going up right now. I have to sit out for 2 minutes anyway. It should fix itself in 2 minutes. But yeah, you have people that genuinely believe that. And okay, I'm gonna tell you what I think it's weird. I think it's weird when people have that thought process of indicators are all lagging. There's nothing like an indicator can help and tell you, but they will have indicators on their chart. Let's say they have a 200 EMA or SMA or VMA on their chart. They will take a buy below it, take a buy right below it, as in while they're in the trade, it'll hit that level, hit the EMA, and then be like, why isn't it pushing through? Why are we stalling here? You just said indicators don't matter, blah, 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 but you have them on your chart and it's literally telling you why the market is stalling to push up, but you say that indicators don't matter. That's weird. Or they'll tell you that while having an EMA on their chart or a VWAP on their chart, the market is in a clear uptrend, and every single time it comes down, it bounces off of that EMA or bounces off of that VWAP or whatever. But you're sitting here saying that indicators don't matter, but literally every single time it came down and bounced off of it 10 times. What do you mean they don't matter? You don't want them to matter, but like, come on, that doesn't make sense to me. Struggle to get a TP of 310. You calling it a day, Janelle? How's everyone doing so far? Me, good. I haven't taken any trades yet. I kind of knew that if we push new highs and lows today, highs or lows today, I wouldn't get as many trades in because I'm kind of trying to avoid taking trades going back towards it or taking trades at the new high and low of the day. So I kind of knew that, yeah, I would have to sit out for a minute. Data lag, are we going to catch up? No, you don't want to? I need to tell them that every time a swoop of volatility comes through, it screws up the data lag. Because I was good until yesterday. Yesterday it got screwy, and then today with news is getting a little screwy too, and we still have not caught back up, and it's been 2 minutes. And that's pretty unacceptable. And I promise y'all, if I take this off of my chart right now, oh, there we go. The data lag will go back to normal if it's off of my chart. All right, we're in an uptrend now. You're very small red from London. You shouldn't have traded London this morning. Trading a new strategy today, a bigger stop. What's making you want to use a bigger stop? Are you getting stopped out too much on your smaller stop loss? All right, that was a trap. I'm not looking for a trap. I'm looking for a continuation. Yeah, instead of one candle, I'll wait for two candles. Got you, got you, got you. Understood. We'll try to stop loss on too much. Depressing day. I hope it gets better, Janelle. Oh, Applejacks, you were trading silver during New York. New York. What am I talking about? During London. Y'all, this is 2 days in a row that I don't have a headache. All from sleeping on a freaking foam roller. Who would have knew? Well, I should have knew because I used to do it anyway, but man, no headache whatsoever. And all the tension in my neck is gone too. Amaze boss. Just amazing. I should have went back to this anyway, for real. I should have. What the hell? That wasn't what I was looking for. Yeah, once I get enough data for other combinations, like this was a trap of the sellers. Sellers were in control down here in the point of control all through here. But for that particular setup, I don't have anything for traps right now, just continuations. This was my sell here, but I would have to break even at the support level, so I didn't take it. Too close, pointless. What is it? That would have been the full TP, but right in this bar, it would have stopped me out at break even. So not did you eat while sleepwalking. Oh, I didn't see the small green. Look, should have been in the fridge, so I don't know what's going on. You would blame it on the dog, but you don't have one? Timbo, what you got going on over there? Oh my God. A mess, a hot mess. Okay, we want to push up instead. Thought we were going to try to reverse down and use the support level as resistance, but the market had other plans. Not looking for that. Silver has been hard to trade lately. Let's see, but I'm intrigued. Berkshire ETF called OMAH. I might look into that. Not there's a sandwich thief on the loose. Honestly, Janelle, I'm hoping that everything kind of goes back to normal soon, since we're kind of rounding out the summer. I was just watching one of the guys who I like to watch from time to time. Actually, I watch all of his videos, but he doesn't put out content but maybe once a week. But he was just talking about how untradeable gold and crude have been for him lately. He was just showing how much gold has kind of been like in a range on the charts that he's trading, at least. There's that. Who be calling people at 9 o'clock in the morning? Let niggas get up, bruh. Jesus Christ. It can't be that serious at all. Dang, can people wake up out they sleep first? Ooh, y'all, that would piss me off. Negative delta. Come on, man. I just want to get a couple good trades in. That's all I'm asking for. My granny just don't be knowing. I be wanting to turn that damn house phone off. Like, call it normal people hours. Ain't nothing important to talk about at 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, wait. I think it was my mom calling. Hi, did you get the bottles out of the garage? Yes, Mom. Hi, Mom. Hello, Mother. Hi. Yes, I did, actually. Wait, the alarm went off because I was out there doing it, or because he just got here? Oh, yes, I got the bottles out of the garage, ma'am. I got all 7 bottles out. Yes, ma'am, I did. I did, but I had to wake up to trade. I'm trading. She said, "Well, I thought you was going to sleep when I left." I did, girl. I had to get up to trade. What you talking about? Lord. All right. She's hilarious. You go for a 1-to-1 or a 2? I go for a 1-to-1. I risk 23 ticks to go for 23 ticks, basically. That's who you said to watch. I know you did. Have you seen the abundance versus being laid off? No, I have not. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. His dad was killed in a hit and run 2 years ago. The person who did it was a nurse who was driving drunk. She got sentenced yesterday, 3 years in prison. That's it. You know, it really grinds my gears how much they truly give people grace for making a conscious decision to get behind a wheel. Like, you made the conscious decision to be drunk. Why do you get that grace? Like, this person lost their life. 3 years, that's it, for taking someone's life is insane. And you know what happens? The majority of them go off and do it again and again and again and again until they get their 3 strikes and they're out. Ugh. Online. A mess. So you need 51% and up pretty close. Yeah, pretty much. And I'm cool with that. Like, I don't like the biggest thing for me in trying to figure out how I wanted to scalp was I did not want a negative risk to reward ratio. That was my biggest thing. I didn't. Um, because I don't like, if I lose, I have to win so many times just to make up for the loss. Can't, that doesn't work well for me. 70s. So that's kind of another reason why it's taken me so long to kind of figure out how I want things to be, because trying to scalp with a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio is not easy. And furthermore, trying to like have a strategy that's very mechanical, like the chart does this, do this type of thing, is almost unheard of when it comes to scalping and with a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So that's why I kind of gave myself 2 years to, really figure things out, because I knew it was going to take me a little minute for sure. 125 percentage is not good there. No excuse for it. Exactly, Timbo. There's no excuse for it. You know you're going out drinking. I don't understand. Probably who she knows, just the system sucks. It does. Taxi coming. Trying to say she thought she hit a cone, not a person. Okay, maybe because I've only been drunk a few times in my lifetime. But even then, I was very well aware of everything I was doing. So I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, how can you be that unaware? That just doesn't make sense to me. And it won't. There's no way you thought you hit a cone. A cone and a person feel totally different. I'm pretty sure. I ain't never hit a person, but I know it's gonna feel different than a cone. I don't care how drunk I am. Like, come on, bro. What's your one way with your strategy? Mine's like 35. I can't tell you that because I've been adjusting things for so long. I can tell you in the last 2 weeks it's been zilch not a nothing. It's been very low because I went back to up down tick, just started learning how to use the footprint summary table and stuff like that. But the week in my trading journal that I uploaded not too long ago, I had a 75% win rate that week, but I felt like I wasn't taking enough trades, and that's how I knew like something was still off, kind of thing. But I've had a decent win rate like over time, but I just always known that something was not right because I wasn't taking enough trades, basically. Bro, what the hell? La, 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 la. I don't like any of this, any of it. What is it? 25% property tax hike next year? That's crazy. People in my area are really up in arms right now because they did a like a 12% increase on the electricity, and it's a monopoly here. There's only one electricity company pretty much, so they can do whatever they want. People are like pissed, super pissed. 48. She said people were following her and waving guns and they bumped her bumper, but there was a Applejack's what? That alone should have got her more time. Because what are you talking about, ma'am? Like, what? Insane. Insane. That is just crazy. Like, honestly, I watch a lot of crime stuff, and sometimes I watch the you know how they'll have videos of like the judges who kind of just like hear cases all day and, give people bond and stuff like that. And I watched this one where it was this lady's like fifth DUI, if I'm not mistaken. And this time I think she killed somebody. And her lawyers was trying to argue for her getting bond and all this other stuff. And he was like, absolutely not. What are you talking about? She's had all these DUIs. She clearly did not learn her lesson in any way, shape, or form any of these times. So why the hell, why would I do that? Oh, he was on her, like on her. And I'm glad he was because she deserved it. Like, come on, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Like, people don't learn their lesson. They don't care. Until you put them in jail forever, they don't care. They just don't. 47. And it just amazes me like how people want sympathy and grace like after they've done things to people. That is so weird to me. Have you lost your everlasting mind? I was just talking to somebody about this last night. One of my Xbox friends, who's really close to one of my very well, he used to be like really close friends with me. But we were talking about like the whole situation with my donor. And it amazes me. Well, first of all, I have no issue with anybody's criticism, their opinions, whatever, on like my lack of desire of maintaining a relationship with him. I also think that it's very funny that most men speak from a certain place, especially if they're fathers themselves. And I had to tell him, like, you kind of have rose colored glasses on, and there's a certain level of expectations that you have based on you being a dad yourself. And that's fine. However, comma, no. Nah, it's just not happening. Oh, I don't think that's gonna go. Nope. Um, but yeah, I'm like, why do you believe that a person who has done so much does, like, to use the word deserve, he deserves to have a relationship with you? How can you say that? That's literally insane to me. Oh yeah, you guys. This is crazy because I was just thinking about this last night. I don't know if I want to treat the point of control as a level at all because I feel like when I was looking at my analysis sheet, anytime it was just the point of control, the entry bar wasn't attached to any other level, I feel like it was treated differently, as if like no level was even there. I could be wrong, but I honestly feel like that's the biggest reason why I just lost this trade right here. But yeah, to use the word deserve, like, so because, well, half your DNA comes from him and blah, 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 and there's no rule book for parenting. I get all of that. People are human, whatever. But you cannot use the word deserve. Being in anybody's life is a privilege, not a right, no matter who you are to that person relationship wise. And I just think that it's insane that anybody would ever use the word deserve to say, like, why somebody deserves to be in somebody's life. That's insane to me. I don't get it. Don't and won't. Don't and won't. All right. I'm going to I don't want to treat this. All right, I think if we trade near the, I'm gonna take another trade near the point of control probably. And well, if it shows up, and I'm gonna treat it as if the entry bar is not attached to anything, because I genuinely don't think that it matters really. So we'll see. Um, 41. It's not what I'm looking for. 387. This market is on crack. Big crack. Let him see his kid. What clock? Mm-mm. Not your for sale sign going up today. So you telling me there was no signal for you to take a trade? It has been earlier today, but um also remember I only have about 2 weeks of data using the delta statistics. So there's certain order flow combinations that I just don't have enough data for. So like right now my rules are based on what shows up the most. Um yeah, property taxes so free. Yeah, Amelia, that's very true. The property taxes, Floridians pay over 10K a year in taxes on homes valued under. That's crazy. Love men, they so fine and have big muscles, but I swear men are loyal to men first, everyone else after. Yes, Applejacks, they are. They are, they are. Not Exhibit A. Because of what Cloth said. um, yeah, I think people are very weird in their thought process. I told him, I'm like, I don't agree with you. You can have whatever opinion you have about it, but it's not gonna make me want a relationship with a man. So you're kind of talking to a wall, knowingly talking to a wall, because it's just not gonna happen for me. Like I just got to the point where, you know, I'll probably respond to a text. It's gonna be like a month later, but at least you got a response, because before you wouldn't get anything. I'm really. Why didn't I have a signal here? Oh, I know why. The move wasn't strong enough. But yeah, Cloth, I think that after about 2 weeks, 2 more weeks of this, I should be able to take at least like probably 7 trades a day. That's kind of like my target area, 5 to 7. If I take 5 to 7 trades a day and have over a 60% win rate, I'll be cool. But I can only go based off of what I have so far. What the hell? Trying to see if I'm gonna get into a buy here, but I don't think so. Point of control doesn't look how I want it to look. Nope. How old is the kid? I'm the kid, cloth. Me. Me. 35. Good morning, Paul. How are you this morning? I want you trade bigger, less risk, 1 to 2 trades. It's not gonna happen. I want to scalp. I've traded bigger before. I don't want to trade bigger. I want to scalp and be done. Couple trades in, out, boom. Yeah, it's me. I'm the kid. See you, Janelle. Have a great weekend. Be safe. See you Monday. Yes, I'm the kid. Yeah, he basically was trying to convince me as to why I should allow my dad to be in my life, and nobody can convince me as to why it's a good idea. No matter what they say, nobody can convince me. It's just not a good idea. Come on, point of control, change. No. Um, well, he was in my life for the first 30 years of my life. My parents didn't get divorced until I was 30. So for me, that was the perfect time to say, all right, great. I don't have to try to force this relationship anymore because you're not going to be in the household anymore. And that was the perfect timing for me to meet me. Like we've been cool. No, see I'm opposite. My dad was actually there. And I just don't I've never liked him. He's not I don't even know how to describe it. He's not like the most evil person in the world, but he's not a great person either. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's not like 61. It's not like we got beat or anything like that, but oh, actually want to be in there. Yeah, like it ain't like we got beatings or nothing of the sort, but like we didn't grow up in like an abusive household from that standpoint, but it just wasn't, yeah. I'm just not interested. To put it plain and simple, I'm just not interested. Oh, I'm slow. I'm glad I didn't get into that. That's not what I'm looking for. I forgot the value area low is there. Now, that is a level that's important. I just think the point of control shouldn't be treated like a level. I'm glad I didn't get into that. Yeah. Good morning, Aluvio. How are you this morning? Sounds like deeply rooted issues, very much so. That's why, you know, like I said, my friends who are dads themselves, they just have this certain allegiance in why they believe I should, give them grace. And I hate when people try to tell you what and who you've forgiven. How are you going to tell me, well, you couldn't have forgiven him because you won't let him back in your life? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? How does that even make sense? It doesn't at all. Just because a person, like, forgiveness is for you, not the other person, right? Just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean that gives them a ticket back into your life. And that's where he was using the word deserve. Like, How can you say that somebody deserves to be in my life because they're part of the reason I'm on earth? That don't even make sense to me in any capacity. Yeah, it's no, 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 no. But like I said, it's all my friends who are dads themselves. My friends who are not dads are like, fuck that nigga. Period. So yeah, it's just very interesting. Very, very interesting. Um, yeah. Look, I'm taking his side. Your mom's put something in your head. No, cloth. Actually, she did not. You act like I was a 7-year-old child or something when everything happened. I was a grown ass 30-year-old woman. My mother actually is the complete opposite of bitter and all of that. Like, she encourages me and my sister to maintain a relationship. She has never put anything bad in my head about that man to this day. Everything that's in my head is based on me. Good morning, Trenches. How are you this morning? Yeah, my mom, she's not that person. But men naturally, because of a lot of women doing that, men naturally think that if a child, no matter the age, has that thought process, they automatically think that it's their mom that put them up to it. No, I'm grown as hell. Super grown. She ain't put nothing in my head. That's not a strong push up. No trading for me. I shouldn't have traded. I don't know. I don't really, the price action has been pretty decent, but I just don't, I'm not seeing the combinations that I like personally to trade, which kind of sucks, but whatever. Applejacks, there's your other example of of men's loyalty to men. But nah, I mean, quite honestly, I get it. Women have a natural allegiance and loyalty to women as well, other women as well. So I get it, but nah, this ain't that kind of party. At the end of the day, like I tell anybody, we're all human. People make, I don't like the word mistakes because that's a word that people like to use a lot. Um, People make bad decisions, decisions that might be good for what they're going for, but in the end, some people make decisions based on like, okay, well, I can go do this and this will still be there, or I'll still be able to have XYZ, and that ain't real life. You can't predict everybody's reactions to things. So I'm pretty sure him coming from the era that he comes from the era of my way or the highway because I said so, thinking that because you are a parent, that your children, um, you deserve some type of allegiance from your children. You deserve to be in your children's life. And I don't come from that era. I've had to tell him myself plenty of times, your generation is now learning that the importance of actually having a relationship with your children. Just being there physically means absolutely nothing. Providing a roof and food means nothing. My mother did that too. It's all the other things. So now you're realizing how important an actual relationship is. That's not my problem. And I don't come from an era of still maintaining a relationship despite your bad decisions or your decisions. I wouldn't even say bad decisions because you thought it was a good decision, but your decisions that have affected me negatively. I don't. Mm-mm. I'm cool. I don't care who you are. When you, as an adult, have done the work to heal from traumas, life experiences. You've done the work to gain a certain level of peace and understanding. There is no one on earth that you would ever allow to take that peace from you. Ever. Ever, ever. You're not going to do it. And that's where I'm at in life. I genuinely do not care who you are. You're not taking my peace. My mama pissed me off enough. Girl, you next. You out of there too. That's just reality. Because if my life is peaceful without you in it, and I only got one life to live for all I know, I'm going to bet on my peace rather than bet on a person. As well. My son showed his ass one time, telling me shit only his mother could tell him, which was false. He's 21. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're in a situation where your child is being fed random things, then absolutely. But anytime like I speak on my situation with him, I don't ever talk about anything that they have gone through, except maybe like one of the causes of the divorce, but that part affected me as well. That didn't just have to do with what happened in their relationship, if that makes sense. So I can speak about that. But I don't, not to say I don't care, but I don't care about their divorce. When I was a kid, I used to pray that they would get a divorce. I've told my mom that from the beginning. Because there were certain things that I saw where I was like, this my mom ain't supposed to be with this person. So that I don't really care about that. But everything that comes from me is based on my own experience with him, my own thoughts and feelings towards him, and nobody can change that. Not even him. I'm too old for certain things. Like, I'm not a child, so there's only so much that you can do. I used to say that as a kid too. Listen, because when you know, you know. Like, when you have certain, like, once you get to a certain age and you have a certain level of understanding, you just know when something's not right. I tell anybody, I am grateful I did not grow up in an abusive household. I didn't get whoopings. I've never been on punishment. I've never been grounded. No, nothing like that. I didn't even so much as get yelled at, really, because I was a good kid. So I didn't grow up in a toxic environment from that standpoint. And I feel for people who have, because that's a lot to deal with, right? But there's other levels of toxicity, many more levels of toxicity. And some of that is what I experienced. And it's not to, parenting does not come with a handbook. You can only do what you know. And that's okay, but that also doesn't give you an excuse or right to also not attempt to be better. I have always, my entire life, been on a mission to become like as close to the highest version of my highest self possible. What does that mean? Having good morals and values, having good ethics, not doing to others as I don't want done to me, treating people with respect, giving people grace. And so when you operate from that place of positivity, when you operate from that place of peace, from that place of healing and understanding, wanting to understand and learn why people are the way that they are, and things like that, it takes a lot to make me not want you in my life. So once I get there, that's it. That's it. We absolutely all fall short. And that's why I can give grace to people. I will tell anybody, like, I didn't have the worst of the worst childhood, but let me tell you something. I forget what Ari Lennox song that is. At the end of one of her songs, she talks about how emotional abuse is sometimes worse than physical because it eats away at your mind. You know, physical abuse, my bruise is going to go away. My broken arm is going to heal at some point. Now, usually the physical abuse is not what eats away at you, it's the mental part of it that's attached to it, right? Um, and no matter how much I worked in psych for 10 years, right? You cannot heal where you hurt, number one. And number two, not everyone has or even wants to have the capacity of allowing people to be in their personal space despite what they've done to them. I'm personally not that person, because for me, I'm going to keep getting re-triggered, right? You gave me this wound. You're sitting next to me at lunch and we can be talking about whatever, but subconsciously you're scratching that wound back open. That's me. I applaud anybody who can mend broken relationships with people who have done things to them. I'm not that person and I'm not going to be. I'm just making sure my kid can financially and physically and emotionally fend for herself once she's grown. I don't worry about nothing if for some reason we don't have a relationship anymore. And that's what you should do. And the thing is, like, I'm gonna tell y'all what I told my best friend when he found out he was having his first kid. I said, regardless if it's a little girl or a little boy, you need to make sure that you are there more than just physically. It takes more to maintain a relationship than you physically being in your child's life. It's not enough. It's not. Especially nowadays, because, old school way of like love is you have a roof over your head and food in your belly. What the fuck does that have to do with love? Nothing. A stranger can do that. Also, when you live in a household where the other parent, your mother, does the same thing, they go to work every day. They pay half on the bills or pay some of the bills. They cook, they clean, and all of these things. So you providing does not equal providing and parenting are two different things. As long as you understand that and you actually parent and you don't do things like you have to provide a life for your children that they don't have to heal from. Because gone are the days of generations still maintaining relationships with their parents just because they're their parents. Those days are gone. And as your kids get older and they become adults, I don't have a problem with giving grace to either of my parents. I give that. I have to, you know, I have to forgive for my own healing. But also, it's not my job to help you heal. It's not. I had to do that on my own. If having a relationship with me helps you to heal the what you've created based on your decisions that you thought was best for you, that's not my job. It's not. So I'm not qualified to give you advice other than see if y'all both agree to therapy. I'm not going to therapy with that motherfucker. Cloth, I'm not. I've told anybody who've asked me, do I want to go to family therapy with him? Absolutely not. And let me tell you exactly why. Because when you deal with a narcissist, he's a true, there's two versions of narcissism. You have like psych narcissists, like there's an actual psychological disorder of people who are narcissistic. And then you have people who are narcissists from a standpoint of my way or the highway. I do no wrong. It's all about me and my feelings. They don't take accountability or responsibility. They put blame on everyone else for their decisions that they've made. That is him. I would never sit down with him in a professional setting with someone who does not know him, because it will be very easy for him to lie and that person not even know they're lying. I have always maintained that, one day I don't mind going and having a sit down with him, having lunch, whatever. But he's not going to like the fact that I'm not going to come by myself. I'm going to have my bonus dad there with me. And that's going to make him even more mad because this is one of his old friends. But he's been a bonus dad for me since I was like 2. I've always had a closer relationship with his friend. Um, but the only way I would ever sit down and have a talk with him, meet up with him in any way, shape, or form, because I don't feel safe physically, mentally, or emotionally around him by myself, my bonus dad would have to be there. And also it's because my bonus dad won't let him sit there and lie at all. All right, now hold on now. That ain't true. You ain't even see when I took that position? Oh, that was a long time ago. But yeah, I would never like therapy. You have to, let me tell you something. I went to therapy before, and the one thing that I learned from my therapist was you cannot have a functional relationship with a dysfunctional person. You will literally drive yourself crazy trying to do so, right? It's like the definition of insanity. How can you have a functional relationship with somebody who's not a functional person? Like mentally, he ain't got it all. And not from a standpoint of like, he ain't got no intellectual or mental disabilities. He's too old school. He's too stuck in his ways. And for that, you just got to be by yourself. 2 dads, I'm pissing you. Why is it pissing you off? Why? Let me tell you something. You, if your child or children have another person of the same gender that they are closer to, it's likely your fault. Because who wouldn't want to have a closer relationship with the person who helped to create them? That's your fault. You have to figure out where the gap is. What are we missing here? Right? He's always known I've been closer to him. Whenever I didn't live in my hometown and he ain't heard from me or whatever, like he would call him. Like I said, that was one of his close friends back then. Hey, can you call to check on Amber? Cause I ain't heard from her. She ain't answering me. Like, can you ask her? He like, I call and check on her, but I ain't asking her none of that. You ain't finna mess up my relationship with her. But why would that be a problem, Cloth? First of all, I grew up in a village, right? My grandma has 7 brothers. I got a bunch of first cousins that's my mom's age. My grandma is in the middle of 8 kids. So I got great uncles that are older, great uncles that are younger. When people say it takes a village, it really does, because guess what? You never know where you will fall short on or where you will fall short at. You never know what things your child might not feel comfortable talking to you about. It could be because you actually are their biological parent. It could be a difference in personalities. It could be that your child knows that he can't come and talk to you about XYZ because you're going to judge him or you're going to reprimand him, whatever. And he just needs sound advice without all the extras. You can't be upset about that. And like I said, if your son starts walking around saying he got a bonus dad or whatever, that means that you fell short somewhere. And if you don't have the desire to figure out how, where, and what, and how to fix that, that's your problem. That's your fault. Because let me tell you something, I've never walked around this earth saying I got any bonus moms. Ever. Ever. Because my mom has never fell short in a way where I felt like I needed to supplement. I'm not going to say replace. You can't replace your parents, but I never felt like I needed to supplement in any part of my life, like from the mothering aspect, ever. Apple Jacks. A cold day in hell, but why? You should be, that's like, okay, for instance, my mom has an old best friend who's never had a good relationship with her daughter ever. Like, my mom and her were best friends since college, so since before she had her daughter. She has never had a good relationship with her one and only child. Eventually, like some years ago, she was literally upset because, you know, her daughter was having more children and she wasn't getting invited to baby showers. She had a wedding. She did get invited to that. And she was upset because my mother was invited. Why are you upset? You know that you fell short from a parenting standpoint. Y'all have never had a good relationship. If anything, you should be happy that a person that she decided to attach herself to get that motherly love and everything from is somebody that you personally know. The grass is always greener. It's called you play the hand you was dealt. But why? Why do I have to play the hand I was dealt when I could just throw my hand in, throw the hand in, and I'm off the table? And the grass is not always greener. We know that, right? Not cloth got to be 45 plus. Probably. He's very old school. And he said he has a 21-year-old, so he sounds pretty old school. But you don't. 43? Exactly. You were so close, Applejacks. But you don't have to play the hand you was dealt. Why do I gotta do that? I uno'd out. I'm cool. I've taken myself off the table. I don't wanna play that hand. Because guess what? I can go pick up another hand at a different table. Absolutely. I am a firm believer that relationships with people, whether they are romantic relationships, or not, friendships, whatever, relationships are not supposed to be hard. They're not supposed to be easy either, but they're not supposed to be hard. If you are having to work so hard at maintaining a healthy relationship with somebody, there's something off. You're trying to put a square block into a circle hole. And I just don't believe that I don't have the capacity of trying to do that. For what? When I could just go get a circle and put the circle in a circle. I don't believe that anybody deserves to be in your life. I don't feel like I feel like peace is more important than any relationship with any person. Period. And I tell anybody, like, y'all don't understand. I will cut somebody off in a heartbeat. Absolutely, I will. And it's not because I'm cold-blooded. It's not because I don't care. It's not because of any of that. It's because my job for myself is to maintain my peace and protect myself. If you cross certain boundaries, you are out. I just don't care. You're gone. But also though, when you are a person that's very vocal about your do's and don'ts, about what you are and are not okay with, like a stranger doing something to you, that's a stranger. They don't know you. But if somebody who is in your life, who claims to love you, does things that negatively affects you, they make the conscious decision to do things that negatively affect you, that is that should be the quickest ticket for that person to be out of your life. Why wouldn't they? That's insane. I'm loyal to default. I tolerate a lot of disrespect for, oh, you crazy, Cloth, but you a man. Because what? I'm kind of jealous of how you can cut. Let me tell you something, Cloth. I was super close friends with this girl for like, I don't know, 3 years. This was my first like really close female relationship, not relationship, friendship since elementary. I have three best friends and a very close friend. My female best friend, we have been best friends since 6th grade. My two male best friends, we've been best friends for about 12 years now. And then the other really close friend, probably about 8 years. Okay. So it was so crazy because when me and her first became friends, it's because we met in the credit repair industry. Okay. And everything was cool, whatever. We were talking like literally all day, every day for a couple years, to the point where my best friend, my female best friend, was like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you friends with a woman. And I'm not one of those women who I just have male friends. That's how I grew up. My parents played recreational softball, and even when they were in the same tournaments, I always was in my dad's dugout. Like, so I grew up around men, and I don't like things that women like. I don't like shopping. I don't like all the gossiping. I don't like watching reality TV like that. like I'm a gamer. I like to trade. And that's, there's not a lot of women that I can connect with from that standpoint, right? So anyway, so everything was cool. I'm going to tell you why I cut her off. Because she crossed religion boundaries. I don't play that. I'm very upfront and honest with anybody in regards to friendships, romantic relationships, on boundaries that I have, right? And so for me, I don't really, when you are a person that's not religious, you typically don't give a damn what anybody's religion is. You don't try to convince people to not be religious. You just let people do whatever they want to do. As long as people are not worshiping an evil entity, you really just don't give a shit, right? So from a standpoint of, if things are going well in my life, she praise Jesus, God got you. It don't bother me. I don't really care, right? However, once you start to try to convert me, that's a problem. So she basically texts me one day a link to Bible study. So I text back, wrong person, question mark, LOL, because it gotta be. No, I was just going through my phone and I'm inviting everybody, da da da. But why would you invite me? And I can't exactly remember what her text said, but it basically was like a trying to convert and convince me to become a part of your religion. Now, this is the same person where if she say Jesus, God, whatever, in regards to anything I'm doing, I don't roll my eyes. I don't get bothered, like none of that. But if you say like, "Ooh, girl, the universe, da da da," or higher power, whatever, she's rolling her eyes, she has problems. So I let that little stuff slide. But once you send me a link to Bible study, you gotta go. And she tried to justify why she did it and acted like it was okay. And at that point, I said, you know what? You're out of here. Don't text me ever again. Why am I triggering you? God damn, you giving me therapy now. I'm digging deep. I'm triggering you. A lot of people say that in my life because I'm a very conscious and aware person. I take accountability. I take responsibility. Like one of my friends last night, the guy I was talking to, he was like, you know, you have to take some responsibility in you not having a relationship with your dad right now. I said, I take full accountability and responsibility for the fact that I don't want a relationship with him, so I don't respond to his text messages and calls. Boom. I'm not going to but it's not because of me, it's because of him. But I absolutely made the conscious decision to not do it. And that's okay. Like, as long as you are true to yourself and, you know, you are okay with going through life being real with yourself, that is when you grow as a person. I am very real with myself about everything. I know why I am the way I am. I know what life experiences have shaped me with certain things. I know who has affected certain ways of thinking and things like that. I'm very aware of things. And you have to be that way. No matter how old you get, you should always be trying to become a better person, not for anybody other than yourself. Because you have to live with yourself, nobody else. Nobody, even your son who might go get a second dad, Cloth. I just playing. Just playing. Good morning, Priya. How are you this morning? Good morning. Good morning. Wait, did that child? I didn't even realize my trade copier wasn't on. Well, I'm glad it wasn't since I only took that one trade and it lost. But let me see something. I'm about to take a picture of the account. It ain't much to show y'all, but just to show y'all, I still have $1,700 of drawdown left in it. It's the top account right there. But yeah, Cloth, this shit runs deep, okay? I'm a very deep thought type of person. I'm not superficial whatsoever. And I'm a firm believer in helping people to gain a better understanding of themselves and whatever comes with that. Because I think that too often people just like kind of coast through life, and then they look up and they're like, damn, I'm 60 and I haven't lived the way I wanted to, or I've allowed these people to take advantage of me, or like whatever. You just said you loyal to a fault. Hell no. See you, Claude. Hope we didn't scare you away. Come back next week. He'll be back next week. We had a good discussion today. He just don't want his son to have two daddies. But nah, I'm out too. I'm about to go journal. And hopefully with the weird um volume and delta combination, order flow combinations today, I have more examples of the weirdness so that I can make a decision on adding certain combinations to my strategy. Because there was a lot of weirdness going on today. Honestly, there were quite a few moves where it was either traps, and I don't have anything, I hate that word now, but it was either traps like, I'm trying to buy and the sellers are in control of the point of control, or there was a lot of like weaker um it was weak delta moves, but they still moved quite a bit. And right now the majority of the combinations I'm looking for, like, I can't get into a sale if this box is pink, it needs to be red kind of thing. So hopefully this is more examples so that I can add more to my cheat sheet. We'll see. But I thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for the discussion today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the discussion as well. Please like the video on your way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys bright and early Monday morning at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Enjoy the rest of your day, your week, your weekend. Be safe, and I will see you guys Monday. Bye.